Okie dokie. So today we are going to be reviewing for the AIM Algebra 8, Unit 3, End of Unit Final Assessment. So this is our study guide. For starters, I re-put on this image that I put on your last study guide, which is supposed to refresh your memory on one solution, no solution versus infinity solutions. And this is if you were visually seeing it on the graph. As you guys can recall, when you have one solution, it looks like this. You have one singular overlap that gives you your x and your y coordinates. No solutions means they never touch, they're parallel, and they will never have an intersection, therefore there can't be any solutions. And then infinity just means that they're the exact same line. You can't really see the red one because the blue is right over, but these are two lines. You see the two arrows, two rays. They are the exact same. All right, overall, for your test, there are going to be 14 total questions, 9 of which are multiple choice. Honestly, we reviewed a lot for the quizzes, and the quiz themselves should have prepared you for this test, but let's go over some practice problems to help really hone those skills. Another mental note that I want you guys to remember when you're on the test, that if there's ever a graphing question and they want you to put in a line, you need to put it in as y equals mx plus b, so your y-intercept form. So for example, if they give you an equation that looks like this, 3x plus 9y equals 18, you need to rewrite that into y-intercept form, so you need to subtract your 3 from both sides to get your 9y equals negative 3x plus 18. And then you need to divide both sides by 9 to get your y alone, so that you get y equals negative 3 over 9x plus 18 over 9, which ultimately, when you simplify, will be y equals negative 1 over 3x plus 2, which is your y-intercept form. That is your y-intercept form. Okay, this isn't exactly a question that you have to do in the study guide, but if you're curious on how to get an equation that looks like this and put it in y-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, b being your y-intercept, this is how you would do it. All right, question 1. There are going to be a couple hanger questions on this test, maybe 1 or 2, and you need to know what you're looking at. So from the first couple lessons that we did, you need to write an equation using x and y to represent the hanger. So let's start with A. A right here. So we have our triangles and we have our squares. I'm going to make our triangles x and our squares are going to be y. So x, 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 and y. And then we just write our equation. So we have one singular x. Some people will write a 1 in front of their x, but this just means 1x right here, plus our 3y's, 3y, and then we write our equal sign, because after all, this is a hanger that represents equality, because they are even. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4x plus our one singular y. So again, pretend there's a 1 in front of that, pretend there's a 1 in front of that. They only wanted the equation for A, that's all they asked for. Write an equation using x and y to represent the hanger. Great, now let's do B. If x is 6, what is y? All right, let's plug in 6 into all of our x's. So we have 6 plus, because we just did it, 3y equals 4, and it's 4x, so it's 4 times 6 plus our y. 6 just kind of goes down, we have our 3y. What's 4 times 6? 24 plus our y. Now I'm going to get rid of my like-minded terms. So now I have 3y equals 18, because 24 minus 6 is 18, plus y. I want to get my variable on the same side of the equal sign, so I'm going to subtract y from both. This cancels out. And so now I have 2y equals 18. because my 18 just kind of gets moved down there. I'm going to rewrite that over here so that I have more room. I want to get y alone, so we're going to divide both sides by 2. 18 divided by 2 ends up being 9, so our y equals 9. Perfect. All right, there's our y. And now that we have our y, we already know our x. We can rewrite this in coordinate form. So x comma y is 6 comma 9. Perfect. All right, this is our final answer. We have found our y and our x solutions. So I put a little star next to that. Perfect. All right, we're going to switch to number 2, right here. If a square has a mass of 4 grams and a circle has a mass of 2 grams, how much does the triangle weigh? All right, this is another one of our hanger questions. So part A, I'm going to write my equation. So we're going to have circle, circle, square, 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 triangle, triangle, circle, circle, triangle, triangle. Awesome. Let's write our equation. So on the left side of the equal sign, we have 2 circles plus 4 squares, and they equal. The right side, we have 2 squares, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles plus 2 circles. All right, awesome. Now, that's our equation. Perfect. You could simplify it, but we're not going to do that because that's just more work for us to do right now. And they give us our sum of our variables, so there's really no point. Let's plug it in now, okay? So 4 grams for a square, so this is a square, and our circle has 2 grams. So we have S and we have C variables, but we do not have our T yet. So let's plug it in. 2C, which is 2, plus 4S, which is 4, equals 2S, which again is 4, plus 4T, plus 2 times our C, which is 2 right here. Now we can work through that. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 2 times 4 is 8. We don't know our T yet, so we can just carry that down. And 2 times 2 is 4. Now let's combine our terms. 4 plus 16 is 20. 8 plus 4 is 12. And then again, we don't know our 4T yet, so we can just bring that down right there. Now I want to get my variable alone on one side of the equation, so I'm going to subtract 12 so that I can cancel that out. And this ultimately gets me 8 equals 4T, because again, we just bring it down. And now, to get my T completely alone, I'm going to divide by 4 to cancel it out. And my T equals 4 goes into 8 2 times. There, I just found my T. So my T equals 2, my C equals 2, and my S equals 4. They gave us these ones. So these are all our variables. So S is 4, C is 2, and our T is 2. So we have all our variables. Completely done. Awesome. Now let's move on to 3. At any point in time, you can pause the video to take notes or to reassess how we did something. But now we're moving on to number 3. What is the solution to the equation below? All right, we take a gander, 2 parentheses, x plus 5 parentheses equals 3x plus 1. We only have one variable, so that means we only have to solve once. We're going to distribute. Make sure that when you distribute into a parentheses that you do it to both or all the numbers. If there was more than 2 things going on in here, we would distribute to all of them. But we only have 2, so we end up getting 2x plus 2 times 5, which is 10, equals 3x plus 1. I want to get rid of my 1, so I'm going to cancel that out. And I get 2x plus 9 equals 3x. And now I want to get rid of my variable on one side of the equation. So now I bring my 9 down. 9 equals 3 minus 2 is just 1, so that's just my x. Awesome. I just solved. I just finished that whole equation. Don't overthink it, just go through the motions. Now moving on to number 4. What is the solution to the equation below? All right, another one. So we have 3y minus 4 equals 6 minus 2y. I think that I want to get rid of my 4 first. So I add 4. Cancels out. I have to do the same thing to the other side of the equation. And I get 6 plus 4, which ends up being 10. I bring down my 2y, and I bring down my 3y. I want to get my y alone on one side of the equal sign, and this one is the easiest one to get rid of. So we're going to add 2y to both sides. 3 plus 2 is 5. And then I just bring my 10 down, like that. Now I want to get 5 completely without, so we're going to cancel it out by dividing. And we do what we do to one side, we do to the other. 5 goes into 10 2 times. My y equals 2. All done. Only one variable, so you only have to solve once. And then last on this page, we have number 5. We have 2 parentheses, so we're going to distribute to both. Distribute, 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 distribute. 3 times 1 is 3n, and 3 times 2 is 6. Then we have 9 times 6, which is 54, and 9 times 1, which just equals 9. Now I want to get rid of this negative 9. It's bothering me, so I just choose to do that first. Plus my 9 over here, and I get 9 plus 3, which is 12n. I bring my 6 down, and that equals 54. I need to get rid of my 6 on both sides, so I get 12n equals 48. And now to get my n completely alone, I divide by 12 to cancel out. And what I do to one side, I do to the other. And now my n equals 4, because 12 goes into 48 4 times. Perfect. We just solved. Now let's try number 6. Number 6 is a multiple choice problem. So the first thing that we can do is look at how Anthony transformed the equation 2x minus 4 plus x plus 8 equals 1/2 2x plus 7 minus x plus 5 into a simpler form as shown below. Which statement is correct? We have A, B, C, D. Anthony made a mistake. The equation has infinity solutions. Anthony did everything correct. The equation has one solution. Anthony made a mistake. The equation has one solution. Or Anthony did everything correct. The equation has infinity many solutions. So the first thing that we can do is we can do the equation. We could do this out. But we can also look at all of these. For starters, I think that we should go and check their work. So 2x minus 4 plus x plus 8. Let's look at one side of the equation first. Then we come down here. They have 3x. So clearly they combined their 2x and their x here to get 3. That's correct. So we can cross those out and get rid of them, and we have 3. And then they have plus 8. Negative 4 plus 8 is positive 4. So they're missing something here. So this is their first mistake. This is supposed to be positive 4. So once we find a mistake, if there is one, we can go down into our multiple choice and get rid of the ones that don't work. So Anthony did everything correct? No, we found a mistake. So we can cross B out. And Anthony did everything correctly? Nope, we found a mistake. So we can also cross D out. All right, so let's keep going. Now we just need to see. So we know that he made a mistake, so it's either A or C. But we need to figure out if he has infinity solutions or if the equation has one solution. So now we need to solve it. So we can rewrite this 3x, and we know that negative 4 plus 8 is what? Positive 4 equals 1/2 2x plus 7 minus x plus 5. All right, let's double check to make sure we did this side right. We can do PEMDAS first. So parentheses. Let's simplify this. So we have 2x minus x, so that just ends up being x, and 7 plus 5. Very good. All right, and then we just carry our 1/2 down, 3x plus 4. I want to get rid of this fraction. It's hard to do all of this with it, so we just need to multiply by the reciprocal. So what we do to one side, we must also do to the other. So we multiplied by the reciprocal. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. Equals x plus 12. So we got rid of our fraction. We times the reciprocal to both sides. We have to do it to every single number. Perfect. Now we have 6x plus 8 equals x plus 12. I'm going to subtract my 8 minus 8. So now I have 6x equals x, and then 12 minus 8, which ends up being a positive 4. Now I want to subtract my x from both sides. And ultimately, I'm going to rewrite that over here. 6 minus 1 is 5. So we have 5x equals 4. And now we want to divide. We divide both sides to get it alone. And so naturally we get x equals 4 over 5. Now, when we have a variable and an equal sign and a number, we know that this is only one solution. So we can look at our two options, and we know that it's definitely not infinity. So we know it's C. X equals 4 over 5. Now, if it was, say, 4 over 5, if it was 4 over 5 equals 4 over 5, only then would we be able to do an infinity solution. But since it's not that, we know that it is only one solution. Awesome. All right, now let's look at number 7. Number 7 is a word problem. Let's read it together. A company charges $323.50 for 3 pairs of sneakers and 2 pairs of boots. All right, stop there. Let's look at our first section. Each company charges $323.50 for 3 pairs of sneakers and 2 pairs of boots. 3 pairs of sneakers, so 3 sneakers, and that's a conjunction, so a plus. 2 pairs of boots, 2 boots, equals our total, which is $323.50. Awesome. All right, we have our first major equation. Now, in order to solve this, we need a little bit more information. The company charges $23.25 more for boots than sneakers. All right, so if we know that the total for boots is more combined with the sneakers, we can write that boots equals 23.25 plus our sneaker cost, because we know that if we add $23 and our change to the cost of our sneakers, we will get our boot cost. So boots, the total for boots, equals 23.25 plus sneakers. And now that we have this, we can plug it in to our b, right here. Let's do it. We have 3s plus 2 times our 23.25 plus s equals 323.50. Now, let's distribute. 2 times 23.25 is 46.50 plus our 2 times s, which is 2s, and then we just carry down our 3s here. And it equals 323.50. Now we're going to want to combine our like terms. 3s plus 2s is 5s plus our 46.50 equals 323.50. I want to get my variable alone, so I'm going to subtract my regular number. That cancels out. And I end up getting 5s equals 323.50 minus 46.50 gets me 277. And now, in order to get the cost of the sneakers, I divide by 5 from both sides. S equals $55.40. That's my cost for sneakers. And that's all they ask for. They only want to know how much do sneakers cost. We just figured it out, $55.40. If you wanted to know what boots cost, you would just add it into this equation. Boots equals 23.25 plus our S, which is 55.40. Ooh, that's an ugly 4. Which ultimately gets us 78.65. 23.25 plus 55.40 gets us our cost of boots. So now we know how much our sneakers cost, how much our boots cost, and how much total a company charges for that many. Awesome. Now let's move on to question 8. Match each system of equations with the number of solutions the system has. For the purpose of your quiz, I think that we should just get rid of 3 because we're not going to do it. And we need to save some time. So, let's start with number 1. Let's see how many solutions number 1 has. Y equals negative 4 over 3x plus 4, and y equals negative 4 over 3x minus 1. So they both equal each other, so we can do 4 over 3x, negative 4 over 3x, plus 4. And since they equal the same y, they can equal each other, so negative 4 over 3x minus 1. Awesome. Now, I want to get rid of my 1 here, so I'm going to add that to both sides. That cancels out. So I get negative 4 over 3x plus 5, because 4 plus 1 is 5, equals negative 4 over 3x. And now I want to get my variable on one side of the equation, so I'm going to add my 4 over 3x here to cancel out, and add it to the other side, except, a negative and a positive, those cancel out. So now I'm left with 5 equals 0. 5 equals 0, that means that there are no solutions. Because a number that equals a different number is no solutions. That's our rule. All right, now that we did number 1, let's check number 2, because we already found that this equals no solutions. Number 2. A little bit over, but that's all right. We have y equals 4x minus 5, so 4x minus 5. And our other equation is also y equals, so we can equal it to each other, 2x plus 7. And now we can solve. I think that I want to get rid of my 5 first, so I'm going to add 5 to both sides of the equation. And I get 4x equals negative 2x, and 7 plus 5 is 12, so we're going to add 12. And now I want to get my variable alone on one side of the equal sign. So we're going to get rid of our 2x here. Then it cancels out. Add it to the other side, which gets us 4, 5, 6, 6x equals 12. Now to get my x completely alone, I divide by 6 to both sides. And my x ultimately gets me 2. And if x equals 2, that's one solution. One solution. Then I have my last equation, which is 4. 5x minus 15 equals 5 parentheses x minus 3. Let's distribute. We get 5x minus 5 times negative 3 is negative 15 equals our 5x minus 15, which is on the other side. Well, I want to get rid of my 15, so let's cancel those out. But that also technically cancels out this one. So we get 5x equals 5x. Oh, well, I kind of want to get my variable on one side of the equation. So I subtract 5x to both sides, and I end up getting 0 equals 0. And when you have 0 equals 0, that's an infinity solution. Because our rule is a number that equals the same number equals infinity solutions. Alrighty, this was part 1 of your study guide. Part 2 will be in a separate video that has the rest of the questions answered.